Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another Fractal tutorial for you, and this is how to change delay subdivisions using scene controllers and then just scene channels. But before we get started, a few housekeeping things. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that little like button and even the little notification bell for when any of my videos pop up. Hope you guys are enjoying these Fractal tutorials. This is just the stuff that I've learned in my years of using modelers and the Kemper profiler. A lot of stuff definitely overlaps a little bit. So, quick background. I was contacted for creating this kind of all-purpose preset for a church player who plays on Sunday mornings, praise and worship. And he wanted something that could just kind of do it all. So I created this preset that you see in front of you. And he had some very specific needs, and one of them was to have a switcher on his FC6, or switch on his FC6 to be able to change the delay subdivisions. Now, after a ton of research, there's no way to change the actual tempo with any sort of control switch. It's just not available to us yet, but there are two workarounds that I found that work really well. So the first one is assigning the master time to a scene controller. So here's what I did. I took my favorite delay, the stereo tape, tweaked the settings, and then I set it to quarter note. Now, you see right here on the master time it's set to 74.9%, and this is just because I couldn't get it to 50%, but if you do a right click, actually I assigned it to a control switch. So then go to control switch, see it's assigned to control switch number 1. Then you have to dial this in to roughly 75%. So this right here is going to be a subdivision of your quarter note. So this is going to be a dotted eighth note delay. 100% is going to be your quarter note. Then what I did was I went to foot controllers, and you can see right here, this is showing on my FC6 under scenes. So I just did a preset override, and this is going to be flip-flopping between a quarter note and a dotted eighth note delay. So I'll just play some, since this is a worship preset, it can still work for anybody, but I'll just go ahead and play some praise and worship type of tones. And then the really, really long reverb trails. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hit the control switch on the FC6, and then you see the master time jumps up. Now let's kind of hear if it, I wasn't sure, but could kind of do that oscillating thing. So I'll just play a chord and we'll see what happens. So you hear right there, since it's changing the time, it has to rework that algorithm, and it has a very noticeable oscillating sound when it changes from the dotted eighth to quarter note and back and forth. So this wouldn't be something that would be really useful, like if you're already playing on a certain subdivision and then mid-song you have to change it, you would probably want to not be playing and then change it, or change it for each song that you're playing. And this is also really useful because on your FM3 or X8, FX3 or your FM9, you can go in and you can change the scenes to revert back to the original, or you can change it to where it will just kind of change it for every single scene. So this is what I did. Even if you jump to scene 3, it's going to stay at 74.9%. But then if I change it to the quarter note, and then I go to scene 3, you'll see that it's going to stay on that quarter note. See right there, it's still 100%. So that's something cool, because I found that if I'm on a certain delay subdivision and then I switch to a different scene, it reverts it back, and it just gets really annoying, confusing, and you don't want to try to remember that type of stuff on the fly during a set. So control switch is the first way. This is probably the best way that I found, just to make sure that you can switch scenes and know that your delay subdivision will be in that next scene, or you can always revert back. So the second way that I found is using the channels. So we're going to go to a different preset for this one. So it's the same preset, actually, just saved as just for a different way to get those subdivisions. So right here in the delay block, I have 2 different channels. And as you can see, the parameters don't change at all, except for, oh, it looks like the feedback. So let's go ahead and change the feedback to 20%. So flip-flopping back and forth, there's no parameter changes anymore, but there is tempo change. So you can still assign this to a control switch. You just want to have the control switch be a channel switcher, or channel toggler. So here's how you do that. You go to FC controllers, and then we're going to have to do a preset override right here. So I think I already have it set up, but let's just go ahead and find it. So this is my FC6 right here, and here is the delay subdivision toggling switch. And we go to edit right here. So we want to change this to effect, and then we're going to do a channel toggle. And then we want to select the type of effect, which is going to be delay number 1, because that's the block that we were using. And then we can have a primary and a secondary channel. So we have channel A can be our primary, and channel B can be the secondary. And then you can change the display name. So I'm just going to change it to something custom, which is going to be that quarter note to dotted eighth. And then we should be all set going back here. Yep. All right, so I'll go back to the delay block. And on the FC6, when I hit the control switch, you're going to see it's going to jump from B to A. See that right there? So it's going to quarter note, and then your dotted eighth note. So this is also pretty useful for kind of an all-purpose preset, but some people like to still use scenes. I think this would be very useful if you have all your effects laid out and you use it just kind of like a pedal board. Instead of using any scenes to control when those effects fire on and off, you just use your individual FC6 buttons to turn them on and off. But I hope this helps. This can be applied to really any type of gigging, recording musician. It's not just the worship Sunday morning guys. But let me know in the comments below how this worked for you, and we'll see you next time.